Hey everybody, happy Thursday. It is gorgeous outside. In today's chamber check-in, we get to talk with Rich Harris, founder and owner or co-owner of Bandanna Running and Walking. Hi, Rich.
Hello, Paul. Good to see you this afternoon.
Oh my gosh, I was out walking around for a couple meetings today, and I wanted to stay outside. So,
sorry we're forcing you into this.
Hey, this is a great opportunity to get to know you a little bit better and kind of kick off our spring series of chamber check-ins. But first, before we get to Bandanna Running and Walking, I have an exciting announcement that I want to share with everybody. Delta Dental has signed on to sponsor these check-ins to elevate business exposure. So we're so excited about that partnership. And I wanted to share a little video to start off this series of Delta Dental chamber check-ins. So Rich, we'll see you in a few seconds.
Sounds good.
Yeah, it's a weird time, but there's still a lot to smile about. So stay connected with your dentist to make sure your oral health and your overall health remain a priority. Plus, find out what services are available and what options and precautions are in place to protect you and your smile.
Isn't that awesome? Thank you, Delta Dental. Hey, Rich, this is exciting for me because I came from a running background in high school, and I ran a little bit at Boise State for a year on the cross country team. And so this means a lot, and I'm so excited to talk with you.
Great.
These chamber check-ins are a great way to learn about companies, chamber member business companies, their story, how they got their start, and really kind of give and educate our viewers about your products and services and what you guys are all about. So with that, Rich, tell us briefly about your story and how Bandanna Running and Walking got its start.
Well, Paul, I can go all the way back to, when I was in elementary school, family dinners. That really is the root of all of this. I'm from a large family. We'd have family dinners, and my dad was a big high school athlete, but he was a pole vaulter. He liked to talk about the pole vault. And I thought, well, when I get into high school, I'm going to be a pole vaulter. I get into high school and I try the pole vault and quickly realized this is not my event. I thought, okay, I'm going to be a sprinter. Wasn't very good at sprinting. So a coach pulls me aside and tells me, you should go with Mr. Olson, the distance runners. That was absolutely the last thing I wanted to do. Who would ever go out and run more than, say, a lap around the track? And, as the saying goes, it kind of took from there. I was fortunate, had a lot of success, ran collegiately, post-collegiately for Nike for quite a while. And when I was done running, my college roommate, he had opened 8 running stores in Colorado. And he said to me, why don't you do one in Boise? There's no running store in Boise. And with no business experience, my brother and I put together a business plan, opened the store, and here we are 26 years later at the corner of 5th and Main Streets. So we've been pretty fortunate. So go ahead.
No, please continue on.
No, I can honestly say, Paul, I had absolutely zero idea about business. I was a zoology major in college. I didn't know profit and loss from a balance sheet, from cash flow. The couple that helped us get to start business, he made a funny comment. He said, this may not be the smartest investment I ever make. And I'm proud to say we're here 26 years later. And he told me the one thing you have to remember is cash is king. And that has kind of kept that in the back of my mind as a small business owner. Boy, if you can keep that, if you can remember that, that's going to help a whole bunch. But every step along the way, I've learned something almost every day, going from absolutely zero knowledge of how to run a business to being here 26 years later. It's being willing to learn and keeping your eyes open and, you got to grind it out every day.
That's so true, Rich. And there's a reason why you've been successful and stable for the last 26 years. And I wanted you to tell us a little bit about why and how you've been able to be stable. And what I mean is that community investment and those partnerships with the schools and the athletes and the why. And tell us a little bit about that.
Well, and that's been crucial for us. So when I moved to Boise 31 years ago, my brother was living here, my brother Tracy, and he and I are the two that opened the store along with this other gentleman and his wife, and introduced me to Tim Severa at the Y. And it's really through Tim that I got involved with him. The races that they put on, and they have a club for kind of youth track and field and cross country called Team Idaho. And that's right up my alley. Holy smokes. I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for high school running. And really felt like that's a good match for us to be involved. We've been a sponsor of Team Idaho probably almost from the beginning. And then, the race to Roby Creek, the Sawtooth Relay, holy smokes, when Barber to Boise was going on, we've been involved in all of those races, helped those keep going. Roby Creek this year is virtual, but we worked with them to get some stuff for the people that decided to enter. But really our single biggest thing is being involved with high school track and field, high school cross country. That's my background, my brother's, that's our passion. Love being involved with that as it's happened. A couple of the coaches around the area have actually worked for us at one time or another. We're involved in some of the bigger cross-country and track and field meets, going out to help sponsor those. We set up a tent and it's more visibility. But carrying all the spikes that somebody would use. We carry a high jump spike, a triple jump spike, a very expensive distance running spike. You're not going to find those just anywhere. But that's our passion. That's my background, my brother's background. Now my wife and I own the business. We've got our last two kids finishing high school, running track and cross country. So very much a family kind of deal. And just a total passion for the sport. That started with my inability to be a pole vaulter.
What you just said, passion, is so important. And I've talked to several business owners that started their business because they had a passion for something. And this is another reason why we have such a cool, vibrant retail community here, because
Right.
People that have passion for what they're doing have kept their shoulder to the wheel on it.
Oh, no question. And it's a small business, and you don't get into small business. I think most of us that do it to become a millionaire. You do it because you love what you're doing. You love the products. And obviously a small business, it's customer service is what it's all about. That's why we've been able to stay in business for 26 years. And the very, very, very best part of the business is just talking to people. And it's not necessarily talking to people that come in the door about running or walking. I love talking about their families, their kids. I had a great conversation with a customer this morning. She travels all over the world just on vacation, but she does a lot of like third world countries. I could have stood there all day and talked with her about that. And then it gets into, I traveled a whole bunch. I was very fortunate. I spent 8 years, a lot of it in Europe, just traveling and racing and, just learning about other countries, other people, other cultures. The people are what make it great. And our staff, they all have backgrounds in running. They love talking about running, but you have to enjoy talking to people, and you have to be a friendly person, and you have to show a genuine interest in the person that you're sitting there talking with, whether it's, talking about shoes or talking about their kids or whatever it is. And I think that's what Shannon and I try and foster in the staff is be very genuine about your communication with the customer, no matter what the topic is.
Right.
And if you don't have that and you don't have the desire to be in there every day, 7 days a week, maybe small business isn't the right thing for you.
You've seen a lot of changes on the corner of 5th and Main where
Oh, yes.
you reside. And I kind of want to ask the corny question. Why the name Bandana and why the dinosaur?
Well, the bandana is interesting. When I was in high school, I had long hair, long-ish hair, and a high school teammate started wearing a bandana, but he had short hair, and I kind of thought that was cool. So my mom goes in the attic, gets my Cub Scout neckerchief out of the stuff in the attic, and I started wearing that because my high school teammate did. I got into college, and my hair grew very, like, down to here. It was embarrassing to look at pictures now. But because my hair was so long, it would bounce in my face. And I went from wearing the bandana like this to what people call the pirate style. And it just kept the hair out of my eyes, but it became an identifier. So I was known as the guy with the yellow bandana, wore it my entire career, college, post-collegiately. I ran for Nike. That's what people know about me, that if you followed track and field in the 70s and 80s, that was that. And the dinosaur, my oldest son, I think he was 4 when we opened. I had been thinking about what's the logo going to be. And, you see logos of stores that, there's a runner, there's a foot, there's a shoe. I didn't like that. And I go home one day and my son is playing with plastic dinosaurs. And it occurred to me that, wow, how about a dinosaur with a pair of running shoes on it and a bandana around his neck? I initially tried to get the bandana on the dinosaur head. I had a guy work on that, but it never looked very good. So that's why the bandana's around the neck. But it's just a fun logo. And fortunately, we've been able to use it in various different ways. It's just kind of goofy, but it's fun. And Fred Choate, if you know him, and I'm sure plenty of people do, Fred is responsible for making that dinosaur look good on the outside of our building. If I would turn the camera, he gave me kind of a mock-up drawing he had done originally. But Fred did a fantastic job of making that dinosaur look good.
Well, me and my family have gone and just stood next to the wall and took like we were tourists. We took pictures of us with the dinosaur in the back. I'm sure that happens. It's kind of funny. Anyway.
Every day that happens. It's really kind of fun, especially, little kids. Parents like to take pictures with their kids next to the dinosaurs out there. And that puts a smile on my face. I love seeing that.
Incredible. Okay. So you're a retail running and walking store. What do you carry? What do you sell? So
the name of the store, Bandanna Running and Walking. Shoes, running and walking shoes specifically are what we carry. We're considered specialty running. We're very high end. We only carry the top stuff from, I think we have 8 vendors that we work with for shoes. That is the majority part of our business. But we're very high end. And so you come in and you look at our shoes, and then you can go to a department store and see there's a running shoe for significantly less than what we sell. I can tell you why. Any of the staff can tell you, why is this shoe more expensive? What are you getting out of it? But that is the main thing that we do, is running and walking shoes. And we have all the apparel that you would wear for that. And of course, obviously the accessories. Nowadays, what do? You go for a run and you want to know, where did you run? How far did I run? Then you want to upload it. So we have the watches that do that kind of stuff. You're running in the dark, all the reflectivity, special socks. The very bottom line is, put a pair of shoes on, tie them tightly, go out the door and go for a run. You don't need to do much more than that. But our shoes will make it more comfortable. Our job is to identify what type of shoe to recommend to you and tell you what's the difference between shoe A, shoe B, and shoe C.
Well, I like working with you guys because when you walk in, the atmosphere is open. You've got 2 entrances. You got a nice little courtyard there. We usually have a canopy up, and it's very inviting. And the other thing that I really like about your store is that you carry a good line of nutrition products as well, and electrolyte stuff. And pictures on the wall are legacy pictures of local runners.
Correct.
And you just go in there, and if you're an old high school runner or a collegiate runner, and you go in there, it's like a trip down memory lane. And I love the fact that you still have lists of runners' times and pictures of old classic jerseys signed by elite runners in their day, and that came from here. And that's just really special.
It's all about local. My wife and I are not about. We don't want to be a chain. I don't mean to knock a chain at all, but we're into sponsoring, helping the local community, and whether it's the high school kid, that's just going out for the first time, or there's a couple of clubs where people are trying to run post collegiately and continue to improve, and helping those people. But really, it's all about the local people that have been customers of our store. They've been willing to give us a jersey. We've had a gentleman who's taken a bunch of pictures that we've had blown up and we put in the store. And Paul, just the other day, this woman comes in with her son, her last child at home, and she goes and points to the picture on the wall and says, "That's my daughter up there from running cross country so many years ago."
That
awesome.
meant a lot to me.
So that's what it's all about, the local kind of thing for us. It means so much, and especially having our own kids do the sport. We just want to be part of the community. We enjoy it. We love going to the meets and being a part of it. And, as I said, we got our start really with talking to Tim Severa and being part of Team Idaho. And it kind of went from there over the last 26 years.
That's awesome. I'd like to close today with a few things here. For running and the background and the mindset and the lessons you learn in running from your coaches are things that you keep into your future years in your business and your family, like goal setting and positive mental attitude and visualization skills, right? Those things are born and bred into runners and their coaches. And those three things are something that elevates runners above their peers.
Well, I think there's no question about it. Running, it's a solo sport. And if you don't have that, and I guess I'm speaking from purely a racing point of view, that's what I did. You got to know why you're out there, and you got to be willing to do it 7 days a week, 365 days a year for the most part. But the lessons learned from basically just having a stick-to-itiveness, I guess, if that's the right word, you got to stick to it in a small business. There is not somebody else carrying you. The goal setting, each season comes along, and so what's the goal for this season? In college, it was qualify for NCAAs. Post-collegiately, it's Olympic trials. On the same thing in the business. What are we doing this season? What products are you carrying, and what products shouldn't you be carrying? You want your money to be in the right spot with the right products. And it's very easy to get off course and think, oh, let's do this or let's do that. You kind of got to have that focus. What's our area of expertise? That's why we carry the spikes that we carry. That is really an area of expertise. That's what we enjoy. I don't want to get off into all these other things that are kind of peripheral and put money over there. I got to have that shoe when you come in the door. And that's kind of the lesson you learn season after season, year after year. What is your focus? You got to have that focus, especially in a small business like this.
Yeah. Well, Rich, I want to thank you for your time and thank you for your efforts in the community to enhance the running community. It was so good to talk with you today. And I know it's sunny out there and you're probably packed with customers. So I want you to go take care of them with some TLC. Thanks again, Rich, for your partnership with the Chamber. You guys have been great partners, and we appreciate you having you downtown and being that point of kind of that tourism where people are coming down and meeting really good people and really good local businesses.
Well, we've enjoyed all of it. Glad to be a chamber member. I appreciate the time today.
Absolutely, Rich. Take care. Have a great weekend.
Thank you, Paul.